I think this guy's completely fucking crazy. He makes it sound like it's hardcore pornography in the game when there's like maybe 5 seconds of a bare ass in the game. I mean, it's like less than PG-13 or television or something like that. It's ridiculous.
I wish Mass Effect was that sexy.
Totally. It's going.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
How you doing?
Hey.
Good to see you.
Hey, nice to meet you, Damien.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So what's going on, guys?
Nothing. We're just talking about that Jeff McCullough asshole.
Oh, you mean Kevin McCullough?
Jeff McCullough.
No, Kevin.
Oh, I guess I should have done some more research. Just kidding. Anyway, I gotta go do some editing, but I guess you guys are gonna go talk?
Yeah, all right. Okay, cool, yeah.
Do a little interview.
So Jeremy, Mr. Penny Arcade friend, compadre, was sick today. We were supposed to go see the Penny Arcade game.
Yeah.
And,
Benefits to me, now I got to play it. You create your own character, and then that character gets put into the new Arcadia world in the 1920s. And it's kind of cool because whatever character you make, although there weren't that many options for the girl character, gets put into the 3D world and then also into the like 2D comic world, so that's kind of neat. Then a giant fruit fucker comes out and stomps on your house. I went into it kind of expecting, it's a fusion of RPG elements and then and some like, old school point and click adventure elements. And you get the point and click thing, like to move around the 3D world, you use your mouse and you just like, click where you want to go, click on items to like find clip art or like items hidden in trash cans and boxes and stuff like that. But it's just, there isn't much to do with, the adventuring aspect in terms of exploration. Like, you don't really have to solve any puzzles that we have seen so far.
Right, at the beginning.
At the beginning. I mean, the RPG stuff is pretty interesting. Like, you run into, random battles. You like run into your, like you see bad guys, mimes on the street, and they're going, making weird noises, although I don't know why mimes make noises. But you run into them, and then it's like, fade into like the battle screen, and then you roll the dice to see who goes first, and then you have all these like little progress wheels that fill up, and then whenever it fills up, that means you can attack or do like a special attack. And like, it's kind of interesting because they don't have hotkeys right now for the PC version. You just use your mouse to click on the attack and then click on the enemy. So it's like a lot of clicking plus pressing spacebar to like block or counter attack an enemy attack. So like stuff's always going on.
Right.
And it feels kind of hectic when you have like 3 people there. I felt like I was looking more at the little wheels than I was actually at their cool animations up top.
Yeah.
But I could see how that would be pretty fun going like as you gain levels, especially because you get those combo attacks.
It's giving you kind of an RPG for some people who may not play RPGs. Like they could get into this pretty easily, I think. You know, it's very kind of simple in that sense. I mean, even though you're always doing stuff.
The timing is pretty difficult though,
Right.
from what I've tried. Like, I mean, even if you miss it, you still get something out of it. So it's not like, oh, you failed your combo and you get nothing. You still get something, but if you're like more accurate, you get better damage out of it, I guess.
Right.
But just me trying to get all the timing right. Like for Gabe's, you have to like jam on space bar until like the power bar goes up, and the faster you do it, the more damage you do. And then after that, there's like a little dropping bar, and if you hit it within like the little green area at the right time, you get like bonus damage. So little things like that. It's like you get the first part really well, and then the second part you might suck, and then.
I mean, the combat and everything was fun, but the text is like the only times when I like laughed
It's also
watching
kind
it.
of what makes this game different from everything else. Like, you know, that story is important to how this game's going to sell and how good it is, really. So,
Yeah, from the options that we've seen for like the different dialogue trees, I think it's pretty interesting that you can decide what you want to say, and depending on that, sometimes you
kind
can
of, yeah. You have
well,
some control.
sometimes I think you can see all of the dialogue, but sometimes if you choose like something else, you might
It'll
not.
unlock new
Yeah.
options, yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
It's kind of interesting also how there's like a narrator for like the beginning, but then it jumps into all this text that you're reading. So for me, it felt a little quiet when we just went through like long stages of text, and there wasn't like, because I was so used to hearing the narrator like 10 minutes earlier. But I have a feeling that this will work better long term.
I think it's definitely a good choice to not give them voices, because everyone probably has an idea of what they sound like in their heads. So you don't want to like have that jarring like he doesn't sound like that at all. Right. I mean, I definitely think fans will get a kick out of it. It's not the same like Gabe and Tycho you're used to like reading, you know, in the comic. And obviously Tycho's got his like elaborate speech going, and Gabe is just like, what the hell are you talking about? So that dynamic is still there. And I think there are a lot of, you know, little things that fans of the comic will pick up on. And obviously they have, you know, their same jokes like the fruit fucker.
Well, and even there was like some unskippable scenes, like where you were opening those doors, and behind each door was like a different scene of like a guy that was like dead in a bathtub, and then there was like that wolf, and they would have commentary about it, and it wasn't skippable, but it was like because it was like you were reading like a short comic panel.
Those are totally
built into the
exactly
game,
from
basically
like
short
panels
comics.
of the comic, yeah. I mean, I'm guessing there's going to be an epic battle with a giant robotic fruit fucker at the end. And when you see what the little fruit fuckers do,
What do they do?
they fuck fruits.
I'm not playing the game anymore. It sucks. It sucks. I hate it. And throw my DS.
Oh, you can't handle some hidden units.
Alright, dude, you're good. I get it. Alright? I don't need to play you anymore. I know you're fucking good at this game. And I'm sick of your shit. I'm sick of you being like, hey, let's play again so I can kick your ass. Okay, I'm through. I don't want to play anymore.
I have the experience is the problem.
Yeah.
'Cause I played the first game at least 5 times through. second game at least 5 times through.
Really? 5 times for each game? Are you serious?
But the cool thing is now I feel like with Days of Ruin though, at least it feels like it's finally kind of changing. Like not only kind of aesthetic, but the storyline, the tone. I think this is the most significant change in the series.
War is dark and it's fast. In the past, the games have been, bright color palettes, kind of quirky characters, a lot of humor involved. We actually asked the development team, what was the motivation behind this kind of revisioning of the game, and as far as why they decided to go from point A to point Z, let's say, I can't speak to that, but I can tell you again where they came up with that original kernel. They just said, let's do it. Let's go ahead and make something that's more realistic in terms of its envisioning of war. Maybe not in its actual presentation, but at least the idea. And so they said, okay, we'll create this world, and what's a good war world? Okay, it's a war that's been destroyed, as you know. The meteor strikes hit, 90% of the population's dead. The dust clouds cover the earth, block out the sunlight. And then it said, okay, from that, what sort of people are going to inhabit this world, and what would they do? What would we do if we were in the same situation? And they said, okay, well, you have the types of people who want to help people who want to take advantage of the situation, people who want to, maybe take control over the entire world. So they created those characters based on that idea of, what would we do? Who would we see? And then it was a very organic generation of how the characters came about and the story as it progressed from that point. But it's also faster too. I mean, the gameplay they tweaked it so that the tempo's a lot quicker, and it feels like a leaner version of the game to me.
I feel like this is the only one I'd want to replay.
I definitely like the gameplay. It's more tactical in nature. I think it's definitely more strategic.
I don't think it's any more strategic than the previous games.
No, I don't agree. I think definitely it's more strategic because, the bike, right? Now it's like the infantry unit, but now you get to go out and capture bases more quickly. So you have to strategize, do you want to march guys? Do you want to put them in an APC?
Yeah.
Or do you want to, take them out and just, gun for, a base, a far-off base or a city to capture? And now you have the rig as well. It used to be the APC, the armored personnel carrier, but it can now build temporary airports and naval ports. So that's definitely there's no purpose to that except for strategy. And then there's the flare tank, which is an awesome new unit. It's not that powerful in terms of taking on other vehicles, but it can light a flare and it'll reveal all the hidden units. All the people I play with here, the other reviewers, they're every time I'm hosting, they're like, why do you have Fog of War on? I'm like, why wouldn't you have Fog of War on?
I agree. Turn Fog of War on. Otherwise, there's no reason to move your infantry in the mountains. I mean, you get a defense bonus, but you love that extended range of vision that you get from that. You don't need a flare gun if there's no Fog of War. And Fog of War makes it feel like you are in a battle where you don't know what's going on until it happens. It's not a board game. It's not like Risk, right? So turn Fog of War on, please.
Any other strategy game, say
Fog of War.
Well, take for instance like a Tactics or like Disgaea or any of those turn-based strategy games. You can see your units when you're fighting.
that is not even the same thing. That's a stupid comparison.
You can make maps where you don't have to build stuff.
But that's not by default how you would normally play multiplayer.
You can play it that way though.
Okay, quit being retarded. Anyway, so back to what we were talking about earlier about it being tactical though. What do you think about the new way they're doing COs? Because now they don't level up anymore in terms of like getting experience points and you can't customize them. But now in Days of Ruin, it's just more straightforward. It's like, okay, you don't level these guys up; they just stay the same.
Yes.
And not only that, but you don't really get any benefit from the COs unless you load them into an actual unit on the battlefield. Then at that point, they have an area of effect. You know, some are more than others, where they have an offense or defense boost to units around it. And sometimes it's just artillery, sometimes it's maybe just aircraft or something like that. So you have to be smart about it, but you have to have them on the battlefield to do anything. And the thing for me is I kept forgetting to load my units.
Yeah, I felt that to be a little strange too, but at the same time, I felt like Dual Strike was a little bit too much. I actually tried to go back and play it recently, and I realized that the game is like almost broken because I was fighting like a tag team of these two bad guys, and they like used their tag team power on me and like completely decimated me. And I think with Days of Ruin, they really stripped it back and was like, okay, let's make it really simple, but it's not like, it doesn't feel like a regression to me.
I felt like they trimmed back a little bit too much, especially in terms of features. Is like, I actually kind of like survival and combat modes from Dual Strike. You know, there was a real-time version of Advanced Wars in there. So it seems like you strip away some features, you strip away some of that aspect of personality in the game, but I don't think I want to go back. I think this is a much tighter game. It's more smarter, it's more tactical, and plus, you know, online play is pretty fucking awesome.
I really hope that people do actually utilize this feature because when I've heard about it, I'm like, that's really cool. Because of all the games on the DS to really utilize that, I think Advanced Wars is like one of the best in terms of, you know, making an online competitive game. And whether or not we can agree on a Fog of War, we can agree that playing online is pretty fun.
So if I played you, if we were going to play From Home tonight, you don't want Fog of War?
No way, man. I'm waiting for the Fire Emblem DS, and I'll play you next. There is Fog of War. Fuck.
Fucking Fog of War, Jesus.
One more thing. After I owned this nublet, you know, I was pretty pissed off. So I pulled down my pants, unraveled my 9 inches of solid snake, and I put a smash on his ass. A smash attack fury far larger than any Pikachu, and he sucked a lot more than Kirby.
What the hell?
Oh, hey man, what's
I'm
up?
gonna be playing my game.
Don't worry about this fucking guy.
All right.
He's the king. What's up?
Okay. We got Matt. You ready to
Oh,
talk to Matt?
yeah. Let's go do that. Interview. What's up? How you doing?
Good.
Cool,
Good.
man.
Thanks.
So, Matt,
Yeah.
what kind of games do you like?
Well, all kinds really. You know, I've been playing games for basically my whole life, and of course, you know, when I was younger and, you know, we got our first Nintendo, it was platformers and 2D side scrollers, and I liked racing games a lot. And then, you know, once we got older and got a PC, I got really into RPGs and adventure games, first-person shooters on PC, obviously, and, you know, even puzzle games. You know, it's great stuff. So
You like puzzle
pretty much,
games?
yeah, pretty much
cool.
every genre.
I like
yeah.
puzzle games. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about fighting games.
Yeah, fighting games.
I'm.
You walked right into this one.
Yeah, I kind of did, didn't I?
Yep.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
How many frames is Ryu's fireball animation?
What's Melina's finisher?
Who do you play in Melty Blood?
In Milky Balls?
Melty
in,
Blood.
In.
So what 3 ways would you improve Soul Calibur?
Yeah, name 3 things that would fix it.
3.
Yeah, 3 things.
Yeah, 3.
Kinda quick.
3. Look, I would be great at this job. I have been playing video games since I was old enough to hold a controller. I've had an Atari, a Nintendo, a ColecoVision. I even had a fucking Sega CD. I have seen every episode of the One Up Show since its first podcast 2 years, 2 months, and 12 days ago today. And if you're asking me for genuinely sophisticated analysis, and I sense that you are, you're gonna have to give me some time. At least 20 minutes to go and play.
I think you'd be fine here, but you gotta not freak out. Like, we
Don't freak out.
Yeah, we don't freak out.
Don't freak
Right.
out.
At least not until about, like, I don't know, an hour before we put the show live or something like that.
Thursday night. Freak out.
Yeah, let's freak out Thursday.
Right, sorry.
Okay. Sorry.
Come on. Name 3 things that would make Soul Calibur better.
Ditch all the extraneous stupid single player content?
That's 1.
Counters for ring outs.
2.
Stop increasing the bust size?
Welcome to the One Up Show, man.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks, man. Thanks.
No
I
problem.
really appreciate it.
I think you'll
Oh,
be great.
awesome. Thank you. You won't regret it, I promise.
Got it.
3, 2, 1, go. Bomb.
I love Wipeout. To me,
Right.
when the reason I started playing PlayStation 1 was because of Wipeout. To me, Wipeout represents everything that meant next gen back in that era. And
Right.
it had these awesome crisp 3D graphics. It had like music that was essentially real music. It wasn't like, bitty and square wavy. It was real like CD tracks.
Ever since XL, the series has had its ups and downs, Fusion being an obvious down. But for me, Pulse is the greatest Wipeout since XL.
Bomb.
Fusion was a failure commercially, and I would argue that it was while it had cool elements.
Sony didn't even publish it here.
The coolest element of the game was the tracks. This game doesn't have the wide tracks that Fusion has, but it does have the loop-de-loops
which is
and
what,
stuff.
if somebody liked Fusion, I'm surprised you were hating on Pulse, because it does have your loops and
Let me
corkscrews.
clarify. I was not hating on Pulse.
Oh yeah,
at all.
oh yes, you are.
Oh, no.
You're like, this is for fans. This is one for the fans, and Wipeout isn't some niche product.
Right.
Only a hardcore people.
No.
Can get
I think
into,
I think my point was that the enhancements made in this game were for the fans.
From my perspective, I was never a Wipeout player back in the day. I mean, I kind of appreciated the whole design aesthetic, the Designers Republic thing, but I never really played it. And the first one that I actually played, non-stop played, was Pure. And I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And then Pulse comes out, and I feel like the improvements there aren't for fans. I feel like they're improvements that make sense to the game. For me, the whole, the maglev thing and sticking to the tracks or whatever, that's new to me. And I felt like that added to the course design.
Yeah, I think it did, but slightly so. It wasn't a major improvement.
I think
to
it
the
makes
thing.
reversing the tracks really fun. Whereas in the past, it just felt like the same track to me. But now with the maglevs, because they're not there when you're going the other direction, it really changes the track up.
A couple of the Wipeout games in the past did have very lethal arsenals, like the Nintendo 64 Wipeout in particular, and Wipeout Fusion were just games where the weapons were strong and it took away from the racing. Anyway, what's cool is that in Pulse they actually have it as its own gameplay mode. Eliminator mode, and they have additional weapons that aren't in the normal game that are in for that because they're too deadly, they wouldn't be fun in the normal races. But in this particular mode, when it's all about killing guys, that's cool. It's not new to the series, but the way they compartmentalize it and have it not affect and ruin the racing of the game is just a smart move.
Contender eliminated.
After 360, how can you play a racing game without custom soundtracks?
I would say the soundtrack to the game, the default soundtrack, it isn't bad, but it isn't the best Wipeout soundtrack.
No, it's certainly not. No,
I'd say
there are 2 tracks that I really like,
I'd say
and that's about
it's
it.
actually on the low end of Wipeout soundtracks.
when you told me that before, what I said is I honestly wouldn't know. Because like so much of the music that I'm interested in or was interested in the past like 10 years of my life would be perfect, Wipeout soundtrack.
Right.
And like that I can play with the best of Autek or My Bloody Valentine or, my friend's group Lexon
you-
2.
you
Like
ra-
I can do like an entire Autek soundtrack for Wipeout and it fits perfectly with the aesthetic. Like it's better than the original soundtrack by far, and that's fucking awesome. It has the new like fusion-esque track designs, plus the mag strips, plus like the most refined version of the weapons yet, like a cohesive world, custom soundtracks, online leaderboards, custom skin editor. It's like it's the full console experience. It's a home console experience on a portable. And I haven't even said anything about online play yet.
Right. If you are a Wipeout fan, you are gonna love this, and you are like a perfect example of that. But like, I think just me being like, maybe I'm not saying I'm a casual Wipeout player, but like I've enjoyed the series over the years and stuff like that. And I think this one just felt like, maybe they're just maybe I want something new at this point.
What is it that?
What did you want?
What did you
No,
want?
I know.
There's a ton of new features in this.
Right. Yeah, but they're not features that like inherently change the gameplay. Like, and that's what you don't want it to change.
Right.
You want it to be Wipeout.
Right.
Whereas someone like me, I feel like I've played Wipeout quite a bit, and just adding like some strips to the course, or making it like online or whatever, that just to me is still not enough.
The way you progress through the single player game, and you kind of define how you go, and the fact that you can adjust the AI to easy, hard, or medium on every single level before the level. It's really customizable.
Well, I was going to say that it's improvements like that lead me to believe that they were designing Pulse to be more new user friendly as opposed to Pure.
It's interesting.
And it's also because like the zone races in Pure, the zone races were completely different tracks, and the zone races in Pulse are the same tracks that you're playing. So you're learning the tracks, and before you're going on them, before you're up to like Phantom class and you're going that super fast, you're learning early on how to navigate those tracks at high speed.
Right.
So it seems like the structure of the game, with its grid system, is designed to help lead people more into the game more than Pure.
I don't know why, but it felt to me like that is perfect for the Wipeout fan. Like they're just gonna love being able to choose their own path and all. It just, there were so many stats and details and everything. It just seemed to me like this game is like built for the Wipeout.
It has online play. It has leaderboards.
Well, and not just online, but it has like PlayStation Network online.
Yeah,
you can tie this into your PSN account.
Yeah,
which is very new.
I really think
That's
that
huge
these are
for me.
features of course, not every game. I don't want my Patapon, stats uploaded online, and I don't need online play for that game. But I know a lot of people argue, I like my DS so much better than my PSP because I don't want a home console experience, and that's what the PSP offers me, is like something that's closer to what I can play on the home consoles. Well, I do want that.
Right.
Well, I want to be able to take that with me. you know, 8-player matches, tournaments. Like, this is definitely a step above what you're getting in Mario Kart DS.
The lobby system and everything,
it's not
it
perfect.
Sucks.
Yeah, but
it's not good.
You're
I
right.
mean, like, it kicks you out entirely out every time a
After
match
every
is
race,
finished.
yeah,
after
that
every
is
race.
annoying. It's like 60 seconds, dude. It's a long wait.
Yeah.
If you are a Wipeout fan, that's the stuff you're gonna love it.
I think the enhancements being made here specifically are enhancements that people should expect from every PSP game coming forward, and you're completely downplaying like the integration of really good online play, customization options. Like, we've never had custom soundtracks and like skin editors on our racing games on PSP.
This stands for like the future of what I think the future of PSP games should be.
Wipeout HD, whenever that shows up,
Yeah.
I hope it has all of these features. I doubt it will. I don't think it will. You think it will?
Yeah,
I hope
think
it
will.
does.
If you were to look at Wipeout Pure, the launch version of that game, and the content that's in it, and then the content that's on my memory stick right now for that game, there's more than twice as many tracks on that game than there were when it shipped. The entire reason for this downloadable content is so that people don't return this game to the stores. They don't want people to sell it back to EB. If there's new content coming out constantly that's free, then it makes you want to put it back in your system and play it more.
I'm hopeful that this will be one of the games where it really gets a real community, because PSP hasn't had that. It's not like Xbox Live where everyone's playing a game. But, you know, it's such a quality game, and it's affordable price. I hope that most of my friends who have PSPs buy this and we can all play online.
I really like the game. Like, don't get me wrong.
So we officially determined that you do like.
I do like the game, and I never said I didn't. But again, like I guess I just was hoping for a little bit more. Just something a little bit different with the formula.
This game is like a watershed moment for like giving you a really complete experience.
Yeah, I know. I'm very glad that to see what they're doing with it. And I hope Sony does this in all their games going forward too. Like I
guess you always were more of a Jet Moto guy, right?
No, yeah, fuck off.
Back to the future, another drink for you, Marty.
Oh God, I'm gonna be. You're teaching me tolerance. You're teaching me tolerance.
Oh, Incredible Garnet. That's another one. Son of Oh, look at him there. That's not even a Photoshop one. Oh man, look at that one. Oh, there we go. Oh man.
This is the worst tequila in a gun I've ever tasted.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
What?
Oh man.
What are you guys doing?
Oh, Matt, you have a lot to learn, man.
Oh.